Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Just as an update, look at my office, you guys. It is cleaned up, it is ready to go. I'm so happy. It took multiple people to help clean up this office and get it sorted, but that's only because in my garage now, we have room for a few more racks, so a lot of my stuff can now move there. I am kind of growing out of this office a little bit, so that deserves some celebration. Also, I'm officially just about 9 months pregnant. So I've been asked by my doctor to restrict my activity because of my advanced maternal age, number one, and number two, had a few symptoms that aren't so great when it comes to pregnancy. So while everything is totally fine, I do have to be really careful this last month what I do and what I allow myself to do, how much I exert myself. That being said, I thought, well, why not create a video series on YouTube all about how to start with eBay, step by step, ways to get your store up and running, creating that side engine of income that we all really do want, but maybe sometimes aren't sure how to create. I have sold hundreds of thousands of dollars on eBay over the years, and right now it currently generates several $1,000s of net profit income for me every single month. And yes, it does take consistency to stay there and to grow, but even right now, as I'm unable to do a whole lot with it, I'm still generating a lot of revenue. It's all because I've taken the time, little by little, to build this little machine that will consistently pumps out money for me whether I've had time to work on it or not. Of course, it's always best to stay as consistent as possible, but even, you know, life as a mom is really hectic and really crazy, so there's times I just can't, and that's okay. That's what this is here for. That's what I've built. I've built it so that it can sustain and last even in times when I'm not able to be as consistent as I want. So a quick formula for you guys to aim for if you're just starting. If you have 500 listings in your store that sell for an average of $30 a piece, and you paid anywhere from $3 to $5 for those items, so they're all listed, they're sitting in your store, and you're able to maintain that while you're selling a few every day, you're able to maintain that 500 item listing number. Once you've built up to that and can maintain it and are selling, let's say 100 items a month from that, I think that's a pretty reasonable sell-through rate. You can probably do a lot more. I'm actually being quite conservative here. Let's say you sell 100 of those items a month. That's getting you a gross revenue of $3,000 a month on eBay. Use my formula. Let's even cut it down a little bit more to be extra conservative. 50% of that is your take home. That's $1,500 that you can make from your store. And because you're selling 3 to 5 items a day, roughly, in my estimation, you'll sell about 1% of your items from your store a day. If you're selling kind of in my category, which is shoes, clothing, accessories mostly, you can maintain that revenue just with an hour or so of work. I really do stand by that. I think if you go thrifting or garage selling once a week, you list throughout that week 3 to 5 items a day, up to 10 items a day if you're wanting to grow, there's no reason why you can't be taking home $1,500 net every single month to go towards whatever you want it to go to. And again, like I said earlier, the sky's the limit. If you don't want to be at that level, you want to be less, you want to be more, it just depends on how much work you're willing to put into it. I do think it's good to look at the future and think, if I want to sell 10 a day, I'm going to have to list at least 10 to 15 a day to keep that going and or to grow. Let's say you want to make a side income from eBay from home on your own schedule. It's totally possible. I would recommend, number one, signing up for a new eBay account. You don't necessarily need to have an eBay store right away. I would wait until you have at least 100 items in your store to get a basic store subscription, and we'll talk about why that's a benefit in just a little bit. But when you're just starting, go through your house. Once you've set up your eBay account, find things that you can sell, you don't use anymore. Look through the kitchen, look through the kids' games, video games, board games, clothes, look through your own closet. Doesn't matter what genre or category you want to start with, just start somewhere selling something that has some kind of a resale value. And you can look up on eBay if it has a resale value or not just by looking at sold comparable listings. And I'll show you an image right here. Sold listings will show you what those items tend to sell for as a pre-owned used item. For example, if you had a game of Risk that you just don't use anymore, you don't play it anymore, you got in too many fights as a family over it, and it happens to be like an older game, even older board games can sell really well, side note, you'll get around $25 to $30 for that game. You just have to search for that item, sort by sold listings, and you will see in green the amount that it sold for. You're gonna gather up as many items as you can from your house. Things that I started selling when I first started were books, book sets, Lego sets, video games were a big one because we just had some sitting around. I found some old Miss Me jeans from like 2008, 2009, forgive me please. But I sold those on eBay. Some of my husband's old work shirts from Banana Republic. I mean, they didn't sell for a ton, but they sold and it got the ball rolling. One thing you're gonna probably encounter when you're brand new, if you have zero feedback on eBay and you've never shopped or purchased there, you might get some people who are trying to scam you. They will offer over or at asking price. They'll ask you to pay outside of eBay. They'll ask you to communicate with them via email and not on eBay. They have zero feedback, all that kind of stuff. You definitely want to avoid that. Do not accept offers from these people. But a little hack around that is if you buy things on eBay, it gives you feedback as well. And all of that counts towards your total amount of stars, positive feedback that you get. So when I started on eBay selling, I already had about 17 5-star reviews just from being a buyer. And that was enough to kind of ward off some of the scammers. And I actually haven't had any problems with scammers pretty much ever since I've been selling on eBay, and I've sold thousands and thousands of things. When you are starting as well, you're gonna wanna be really willing to take the lowest offer, take best offer, get things out of your home quickly, sell them quickly, auction them off if you need to. No, you're not gonna be getting like the most that you could possibly ever get for an item. Maybe, I mean, maybe you could if it's really rare. But what you're trying to do is just get the ball rolling and get stuff out of your home, get used to the system and the rhythm of it. Make sure you have some poly mailers. Make sure you can just run to the grocery store and get some poly mailers or some padded envelopes, and you can put things in there, boxes that you have around. Try to make the package experience a good one for the buyer. All too often we see some eBay sellers package things in cereal boxes, egg cartons. They get really creative, so kudos for creativity, but that's not going to get you the feedback that you need and want from your buyers. Package it nicely, package it professionally. It is worth the little bit of extra money you might spend to package it nicely to get that feedback, and again, start establishing your roots in your store. And once you get your eBay store subscription, if you start with a basic store even, they give you a coupon every quarter to use towards eBay shipping supplies. I believe when you have a basic store, it's $25. You can buy these eBay poly mailers. You can buy eBay stickers that say, thank you for supporting my business. You can buy eBay tape as well. So you can buy things with your store coupon. It really helps a lot. But don't worry too much about that right away. Make the packaging experience nice. Get that feedback. Start establishing your rhythm and your routine as a store. Once you have that, once you've sold everything in your house, then I would say it's time to go look for some inventory. I'm going to dedicate a whole video just to finding inventory and how to find inventory for eBay, going all the way from thrift stores, garage sales, to liquidation, wholesale, and more. But for now, all you have to know is wherever you can get something for cheap and then flip it for more, that's a great place to go get stuff and to go get started. I will recommend when you are starting, please, please, please get inventory as cheaply as possible. Take very few risks. That way you're able to build up your store, build up your revenue without constantly taking out of it to buy more stuff that's too expensive. I have fallen into that trap. I just don't want you guys to fall into that trap. So when you shop somewhere like the Goodwill outlet, where it's pay by the pound and it's extremely cheap, or if you go to yard sales and garage sales, I do have a guide all about brands and things I look for at garage sales. I've made a lot of money from garage sales. You can find really good stuff for really cheap. Thrift stores are a great place to start as well. Even thrift stores though can be a little bit on the pricier end. I mean, they're totally fine, but if you want to get the cheapest stuff, it's going to be Goodwill outlet and yard sales and garage sales in my opinion. Maybe the flea market as well. Ultimately, your goal is just to buy something for cheap and flip it for more. I think it's really wise to just use the revenue that you made from your home sales. Set up a business bank account. I should have put that very first. Set up a business bank account, have all of your money and transactions go there. It's gonna help you come tax time. You will cry 1,000 tears if you do not do this step. So a business bank account is extremely important. It takes a half hour to set up. Just go to your local bank, sit down with somebody and they will set it up for you. Once you do that and you have all of your income from like the stuff you sold from your house, put that into your bank account. That is now your inventory purchasing pool. Use that money to buy more inventory, to flip more stuff. The revenue from that goes into your pool. You pull from that, you buy more, and that will start to snowball. I think it's extremely important that I tell you guys, I did not take a paycheck from my business for 2 years until I got a really well-established engine going. I'm not saying you have to wait that long, you don't, but I will say that it takes time to build and that's totally normal and okay. What I did during that time though was build a big enough engine that enough revenue is coming out every single month that every single month I can pay myself. And it's turned into a really fun and wonderful income for me and my family. So once you have about 100 items listed and you're ready to jump into a basic store subscription, you can start running sales and running promoted listings and doing all these really fun things for your store that just get more traffic to your items. I do use promoted listings. It really helps boost my traffic. I run sales all the time. It helps again with my store to sell things more quickly. I do think it's really important and really helps your store out. If you really do want this to grow and be an engine that produces an awesome income, you have to make it a daily intentional task, especially in the building stages. You can't really do it once a week, twice a week, here and there. That inconsistency isn't going to lead to the kind of revenue generating machine that you want. So it's much better, I think, just from a habit perspective, to figure out a way to get stuff up consistently in your store daily, even if it's 1 or 2 things, than to wait and do it once a week. I don't know that it necessarily affects the algorithm as much as we all think it does, but I think from a habit, personal perspective, it is a really good rhythm to get yourself into, to get used to that daily traction and daily work ethic with your store. Because then later, if you've been consistent daily and you've done all the work ahead of time, years down the road, like me, you could take breaks and it will still generate an income and revenue for you. And of course, as you're doing that, make the buyer have a great experience, respond to messages as quickly as you can. That helps the algorithm see that you are an active store owner. Ship quickly. I do ship 1-day shipping when I'm not 9 months pregnant. I usually do that. Something to be aware of is about 55%, with this business model I'm talking about, 55% of your gross revenue will be net profit. And I'm talking about after eBay's 10% fee, after shipping, and after you pay yourself back for the items that sold. Cost of goods do count in that little calculation I'm sharing with you. It might be different depending on what you're buying, but that's what I've found to be true for my store. Just this last year alone, I've sold almost $82,000 worth of stuff on eBay. It's been amazing. So of that, about $45,000 will be my take home net after I pay myself back and after eBay fees and after shipping and all of that. I really don't do this by any means full-time. I don't have time to do it full-time. I do it part-time. I get listings up when I can. I would love to be a little bit more consistent, but life gets in the way, and that's okay. I mean, my priority is being a mom to my kids and being there for my family, but I think it's really cool that this stream of income can happen on a part-time schedule when $45,000 was way more than my full-time job that I had when I was first married with my husband, and I worked as an administrative assistant, and I worked way more hours. Oh my gosh, and I wanted to pull my hair out at that job. Whereas here, yeah, I put a lot of work up front, but it's created this really cool thing that now like produces more income than that ever did and has way more potential long-term than that ever did. And that's the really cool thing with growing an eBay store, is as much work as you can and want to put in is as much as you can make. I mean, this is me doing this in between nap times, during preschool times, late at night, early mornings. You know, this is me fitting it in where I can. Imagine if you had all the time that you wanted to put into this and it's fun and it's exciting, you could grow this to 10 times what I'm currently doing. It just really comes down to consistency and how much you want to do it. Okay guys, that's about it for me today. I hope that this was a good intro video into how to get your store up and going. I hope it gave you some insights into what actually practically worked for me from a real person. This is my actual experience doing this. I really hope it helped you. You know, I don't run the biggest store, I don't have the biggest account, but it has absolutely blessed my family, and there is no way I would go back to a real job, different job, I don't know, have a boss again. There is just no way. Now that I know how all this works, I am so happy that I basically invented a job for myself. And with YouTube and with all of you guys, I have this really cool thing going that I cherish every single day. I feel incredibly lucky. Stay tuned for part 2. We're going to talk about finding inventory, but in the meantime, you guys, I'm so grateful for all of you. Thank you for tuning in with me today. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please click that thumbs up. It really helps me and my channel a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you want more content like this. My goal with all of this really is to just help anyone out there who feels a little bit helpless and doesn't know how to make money from home. This is a very real way to do it. I'm so glad you joined me today. Thanks again, you guys. Take care, and I will catch you guys next time.